What is up, you beautiful bastards? Welcome to the Circle Geekdom podcast. I'm Chris,
I'm Shaun.
I'm Yukon.
and let's talk about some geeky shit. Oh my god, we are doing another one of these after what, like a month? Feels like it's been since
It's
last
been a
week.
while.
It has been a while, so
It's been too long. Too long.
too long indeed. So long, it's like a beard grew. Like that's how long it's been for me. And now Shaun can see without glasses.
Look at that.
Yeah,
I might have had. Did I have LASIK before the last one or after? I can't
I,
remember.
I think it was right before you were having the surgery.
Yeah, yeah. No glasses, seeing 2015 plus, which means I can see 2015 and then some.
Nice.
I got 4 of the 5 letters on the 2010 line done.
All right.
Like a boss.
Can you fight crime now with your vision?
I've yet to try, but I was watching the video of those zebras that escaped in New Braunfels.
What zebras?
There were 2 zebras that escaped from some farm somewhere over here, and they were running around, and it was all on KSAT and San Antonio on the news and stuff with the helicopters flying over, and you see like the zebra like down the street. Yeah,
So
they
you had two wild zebras on the loose.
we did have 2 wild zebras.
Oh my god. That's
Yeah,
weird.
they caught them though. One of them died, which is sad. It ruined
Oh.
my day. It made me
Oh.
very sad. But no, yeah. So, that's what happens in Texas. Apparently, we
Yeah.
have zebra running around.
Typical Friday. Typical Friday then. I don't even know why you bring it up. It's so typical that a zebra runs loose in New Braunfels. It's like
Right? That's. I mean, why not? I mean,
it's like yeah, and it was Taco Friday at like the restaurant. Of course it was.
it was. Speaking of restaurants, if we want to talk about food, and our new guy, who you've all, I'm sure, heard the the dulcet tones of our German, Swedish, Canadian that we
Yep.
brought along today.
We did. Actually before we do that, like let's actually do the
Yeah,
introduction. So,
you can introduce yourself, sir.
Again?
you can.
Oh yeah.
Okay. My name is Maximilian. I'm 20 years old and I play video games. That's pretty much my life.
Oh my god. You're 20?
Yes. Well,
Oh.
20 and a half, if that's better.
Oh well,
No.
hang on, 20 and a half.
Yeah. God.
Hey, at least
Why?
next year when you come down for the Grand Prix, you can drink in Austin too.
Yeah. This is what
There
your
you go.
30s are going to look like, by the way, dude. Just give
Yep.
me a heads
Well,
up.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
I'll memorize it.
Yeah.
These are your 2 options. You know, you've got the
Yeah.
one screen with the guy who's single and playing video games and streaming and drinking stuff, and then you have me, the guy who is married and has a kid asleep in the other room, but also streaming and playing video games. So you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your options are you could be single and play video games or happy.
Okay. I'll keep those 2 options in mind.
I mean, you've already watched How I Met Your Mother
Yeah.
without being married and have a kid, so it gets way
It's-
better afterwards.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I already
Oh.
watched that.
So how did you guys meet up?
That was through, I think through Arch, right?
Yeah, I think it was through Archangel, the Bros guys, him and MJ on Apex, and then when everybody else in Circle of Geekdom decided to, fuck off and quit playing Apex with me,
Yeah.
I was taken in by the wayward youth of mostly Canada.
Yeah. Actually, I know that Walrus is from Canada.
Yep.
I don't know about that Kid Marbles. I don't know, but yeah, it's big Canada group, which is fun.
He's Canadian as well. Yeah.
Oh yes, damn.
Yeah. There's like
Yeah.
3 or 4 Canadians, and then
I know
there's the muted people, which I don't know where the hell they're from or if they're
Well, the
even
guy
human.
Fear Gamer is from Red Deer, which is like an hour away from me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's definitely Canadian.
Yeah.
It's got that Letterkenny vibe. If I could figure it out.
Yeah. Actually, I've talked to a few Canadians because a few members of my Final Fantasy Free Company are from Canada. Like, what are your thoughts on Letterkenny? And have you seen it, first off, I guess?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay. You know, you really should watch it though, because you live in the middle of fucking nowhere, dude. Like, I'll have to shoot you a link to it. It's on I don't know.
It's on
It's on
Hulu.
It's on Hulu in the States, but in Canada it's on Crave.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah. They have it's 6 seasons. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Chris introduced it to me, and I binge watched the entire series with my wife, and I don't think a day goes by where I don't use some sort of Letterkenny reference in my daily life.
Yeah, it's really gotten to the point now where anytime anybody asks how I'm doing, the response is not so bad.
Yeah, not so bad in you.
Yep.
Yep, every time, dude.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna have to binge watch that.
Yeah, it's the first two seasons are spectacular. The third one you can kind of like just look at your phone for a little bit, and then it picks up after that back in season 4.
And
Okay.
the holiday episodes, the episode 7 of certain seasons is not chronological with anything else,
No.
but they are awesome. The St. Patty's Day one is legendary.
Yeah, you are fucking legendary.
So good.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's one of those shows where everybody is like impossibly witty.
Yeah, it's honestly, even though it's a very low budget show from Canada, it's probably some of the best writing on any streaming or TV service. Like it's actually amazingly well written.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would agree with that.
It's less jokey than Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but it's about that level of like just like tack 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 in terms of like when they can go back and forth.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
very true. So with that, since it's been a while, like so, we'll start with you, Max, since you're the guest here. What have you been playing for the last few weeks?
95% Apex Legends, and the other 5% was GTA 5.
GTA, really?
Yeah, because the new Casino DLC dropped.
That's right. Somebody told me about that.
Yeah, so I've been doing that a bit.
But it's
Kind of disappointed by it, to be honest.
because it's not a heist, right? It's just a casino you can go to and gamble, right?
Yeah, and buy a penthouse, which you can spend upwards of $6 million for a fully kitted out one.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's kind of sad that after like 5 years, that's what they come up with. It's like a casino DLC, which everybody has been asking for like the last 4 years. It's like, oh yeah, here we go. Well, we're probably going to get a new heist DLC in like December this year.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because they've been always doing the heist in 2-year intervals on December, so
Okay.
we'll see.
I just wonder really how long Rockstar can perpetuate the GTA like franchise. Like, can it go on? Can it be like the open world fuck shit up version of Final Fantasy? Because I mean, they're already up to GTA 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, are we going to see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 37? You know, at some point, like. Is that a franchise that can continue? Because Rockstar, I mean, they make really, really good games overall. I mean, they made the best ping pong game ever.
I forgot about that ping pong game.
You forgot about that? We used to play that game all the time at,
Oh my
at EB. You
Jesus.
can make your character. They put like 1 billion pixels on your characters because there's nothing you could do else in the game. But I've always been curious about that. Like GTA 3 came out and it was like open world and run around, and that was like game changing. And then GTA 4 came out and that was, you know, a bigger deal. And then San Andreas, and that was a bigger deal. And then GTA 5 was the one on the newer console, so bigger graphics or better graphics, more expensive, you know, thing. You can go anywhere and stuff like that in this area and do all sorts of cool shit. But is there a point where you run out of stuff with that? Like same thing for like Assassin's Creed. You know, are you eventually going to run out of historical reference points? Like, what's the only one they haven't done? They're going to have to find some weird, wacky way of doing one for like Mayan culture at some point, because it's really the only one they haven't done.
Yeah.
Or Asian. They're going to have to do Japanese or
Well,
like Chinese or something.
Well, there's the Yakuza series too.
Okay. Well, so is that Assassin's Creed or is that unrelated?
It's its own franchise. There's the Yakuza series, which is open world, but it's got like 8 trillion minigames. It's like if Shenmue was about the Yakuza, like where you could just do whatever you want. Like you can go out there and you can go to batting cages, and then you can after that you can go do karaoke and then play old Sega arcade games because it's published by Sega.
I guess what my question is really, how long can any series perpetuate itself? Because even Final Fantasy, there's what, 15 Final Fantasies?
There's 15 full regular installments, and then there's stuff like the Crystal Chronicles, the DS copies, the movies, all that stuff. I think the thing with Final Fantasy though is like they were smart.
They're not all the same,
right?
It's not the same place every time.
Yeah, there's some very loose rules that they still have to follow in order for it to kind of fall within still like a Final Fantasy kind of title, I think.
Yeah.
And even then, you can still skip on a few of those rules and still be considered one of them. So like,
that's I guess that's the question that I have for some of those things, right? So like, do you eventually, because Assassin's Creed is probably, and maybe GTA might be the first ones to like literally die out in terms of franchises and stuff from this thing, because you just run out of things like Assassin's Creed, historical reference points that people would be actively into. I think they really only have two left. They really can only do something Asian and something Mesoamerican, and the Asian one would be a big hit. That would be probably a pretty cool title. You know, if you could ride around feudal Japan and stuff like that, that would be pretty badass.
Yeah.
And that'd be kind of neat. The Mesoamerican one is kind of like iffy, and I suppose they could do a Viking type one.
That's
And
it. I could see a Viking one. There actually was an Assassin's Creed China. It was one. It was one of the portable ones that they did.
Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, like that's the thing with like Tomb Raider, right? So they did kind of what did they do? The first one was Asian, then they did kind of Babylonian, kind of that kind of shtick, and then they did the Mesoamerican. So it's like, what else could she do? I want to see someone do something in Africa, like bring in the Zulu, like give me that. I want those guys. Or like there should be a game where you're just a Bedouin guy and you gotta like run around. There should be like a Bedouin game where you're a Bedouin detective and you gotta go across like the fucking like Andafud desert trying to like solve crimes.
So I don't know what any of that is at all that you just said.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of Zulu through my dad.
The Zulu were a tribal warrior. Or I don't want to say just tribal warrior because that kind of typecast them. It's just that. But the Zulu were this tribal people who lived in Central and Southern Africa. Like they were a very, very large, powerful nation before colonization and stuff and everything. And even afterwards, it was a really big deal for them. And then the Bedouins are one of the, even with modern technology and things like that, they're one of the most unchanged groups of people on the planet because they still just ride around on like camels and stuff in the deserts. The Andafud is the giant desert, which is like 80% of like Saudi Arabia is a big desert. You can't see what I'm doing. You can just see my arm, but I'm doing like this thing with my hands because I have to, even when no one can see it really. But they have a very kind of like close knit culture. Like they'll do trading stuff with like modern people, but they mostly have open access, in pretty much all of the Middle Eastern and a lot of the North African nations to just go around and they just follow their nomadic lifestyle that they've had for thousands of years. It's amazing.
Nice. That would be kind of an interesting one. I think the weird thing with, at least with Assassin's Creed though, is that the first, I would say, two try to stay as historically accurate as possible without getting weird, and then it started with part 3 when they had the King Washington DLC, and then 4 I think was kind of normal, and 5 Unity, who cares? But the last couple, Origins and Odyssey, have started doing way more fantasy stuff with it too. Like Origins, like you were actually fighting like Egyptian gods as like boss fights, and I think in Odyssey, you're fighting like
Greek, that was like a Greek one, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're starting to go a little more fantasy based for it because I think I kind of have mixed feelings on it. On the one hand, they're smart to save it for DLC for the most part, and they're not using it for like main story campaign stuff. It's just kind of keeping it more science fiction than fantasy. But yeah, it's just kind of gone such a weird long way, and we're probably going to go. It's gonna be like every 2 years for Assassin's Creed games because this year there's not gonna be a new one because they're doing the new Watch Dogs.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Watch Dogs.
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, Watch Dogs Legions, dude. Like it's so.
I never played the second one. First one was great.
Second one's even better, I think. Honestly.
Yeah.
I played it at QuakeCon. Yeah, it's the graphics on it are amazing. I may actually end up just streaming that tomorrow on link down below on Mixer. But yeah, really, really good. Much better characters for it too. I think the characters they have in 2 are way more interesting, a little more dynamic than they the stoic-y dude from part 1.
I liked that guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
So Blandy McBland.
We're talking about. I like the stoic-y characters.
He was cool, but it was all like focused in on that one event that happened.
Right.
How he lost his niece. Like that's all he worked towards. The whole game. But with the second one, it's more like that whole Silicon Valley vibe, which works better for what Watch Dogs is. That whole hacking.
Right. And
It was originally supposed to be Montreal and not Chicago. I just have to throw that out every time.
ah,
The game was originally supposed to be a map of Montreal, and then they changed it to Chicago.
weird.
And it was supposed to be completely like different way. Like it was supposed to be more like GTA 5 than it actually ended up being. Like the first, what was the first release trailer for it?
Oh god, that
I
E3.
love that game.
Yeah.
So
I was
good.
like,
Yeah.
it was a good game to see, but it was like they changed it so much, and that's why I feel like people got like so mad at Ubisoft because what they showed the first time they ever showed the game and what it ended up being,
Two
it's
different
not a
things.
bad game. It's not a bad game. Like even what was the DLC for the first one? The
Oh,
Bad Blood from
yeah.
T-Bone.
I
It's so
didn't
much
play
fun.
any of the DLC.
It's,
So behind on my Watch Dogs-ness.
Yeah.
I loved that first one. It's good shit.
Yeah, because Legion's whole gimmick now is going to be every NPC in the game can be recruited and become a playable character.
which is awesome.
Yeah, so that you need to see the trailer because they showed it this past E3. So you could like even walk up to the elderly and be like, "Hey, are you tired of all this, weird like no privacy kind of bullshit?" And she's like, "I hate it." Like, well, join us. Like, okay, I already have a gun. And like, what the fuck? Why do you have a gun? Like, I brought it from home. It's like, and now you can play as this old woman who's a hacker.
Just a gun, because it's America, duh.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Actually, Legion is going to be in London.
Yep.
That's an even. I don't know what it is about British things, but apparently dystopia always just really, really jives well with England. Which, side note, the Netflix series The Bodyguard, or I think it's just called Bodyguard.
Bodyguard, yeah.
It is fucking great. I don't know the last time I watched a show that they gave me that much anxiety. I don't understand why it happened. He's like sitting there with like some bomb person, and like literally this is me the first 30 minutes of the first episode, just staring at the screen. My wife's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine." It's so anxiety. Like the whole series is really, really, really good.
Yeah, and that's the one with Rob Stark in it, right?
That is, yes, he is. I guess attraction-wise, he's probably, I don't know. I mean, I like having a little bit of, gruff facial hair stuff. So I think, dudes who have some look better. I know, looking beautiful there, buddy. Now, looking at Magnus's name, I imagine he's got some giant beard with like, the remnants of like his defeated enemies trapped in it somewhere. Maybe that's his bear.
I hate to disappoint you.
Just
Like a scrawny kid.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's funny. I forgot what I was going with.
Oh
yeah.
we'll talk about
England is
Bodyguard.
like a great place for like dystopian things. Yeah, V for Vendetta pops up there. Bodyguard, that's a good place to do that in.
I would say so. Yeah. And there's also that weird movie Doomsday too. That had Bob Hoskins in it too. Like that was a dark fucking post-apocalyptic movie too. Like there was like legit scenes of cannibalism in that movie. Like it was really good, really dark movie. And actually, speaking of weird and dark, well, two things I see in terms of really good. Season 3 of Glow just came out today, and
Did it just come out today?
It did.
Later, bitches.
I've seen 7 episodes so far before we were recording, and it's good. It's a really, really good one. Yeah.
I fucking love the main actress, dude. I love her so much.
Alison Brie.
Oh yes,
Oh,
she's the best.
Yes, and she's awesome in the season so far. You could tell this time they don't put as much focus on a few of the lesser wrestlers. Like you kind of hope that they will get more rotations for stuff and get more time to shine. Like they would give those okay, maybe season 2 they didn't give the old biddies time to shine. Let's give them like a good episode where you can see them kind of like where they kind of came from. Like no. They
started to do that in Orange is the New Black. They started to like 2 or 3 times a season they would have an episode where it's just about one character.
Yeah. And that show just ended, didn't it? Like this was like its last season, right?
I don't know. I watched the first 2 episodes of season 4 or 5 and I just fell off.
Really?
Yeah. But anyway, I'm very excited to hear. It's so first 7 episodes in, is it good?
I'm really enjoying it. It's been really really good. Yeah. And so if start watching that, Gina Davis is in this one too, which is fantastic. I love Gina Davis.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
And today,
So
actually,
good.
I ended up watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tarantino's
Was it
newest
good?
movie. I still don't know. It's one of those movies where everybody who acted in that movie acted the shit out of it. Like I really like everyone's performances, but it doesn't really like there's events that do eventually kind of connect up to form a plot that will lead to a conclusion. But there's a lot of shit in there that just sort of happens. So like I don't like I've seen the trailers for that movie and like I don't really know what this film is about. Other
Is there
than
violence? Like, is there like
oh yeah,
graphic violence?
oh
Okay.
oh yeah.
I knew nothing about what it was. It made it seem like it was like a comedy, and I'm like, okay.
It's a comedy drama or dramedy, I guess. But it's Leonardo DiCaprio is just playing like this actor. Brad Pitt's a stuntman, and I was kind of thinking like, what is this actually about? Is it about like a redemption story for the actor? Is it about the stuntman wanting to break out on his own? Because I don't just from the trailers, I don't really get a good understand what's going on. And even watching the movie, like you're just seeing them it's just like a couple days in their life with no real like, it's not like DiCaprio's character is like, I need to be better. I need to like, I'm a washed up actor who needs to like do one big last hurrah kind of thing, like, and then the film is around that. No, or it's not about Brad Pitt, the stuntman who doesn't get the credit he deserves and is trying to do like the stuff that you expect the movie to be about is not. It's just here's what it was like for them, and then like Margot Robbie's character, Shannon Tate, is just kind of just doing shit. Like she's just her. Like you see her like go to the movies and go buy a book for her husband, Roman Polanski, and it's like, what's going on? What's the point of this? And eventually you do start to see like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing out here. And then again, this kind of subverts expectations again for it, and then it just sort of ends on a like, oh, kind of note. So
I feel like I don't like Margot Robbie.
I like her actually because of the shit she did in Saturday Night Live, like a lot. Like I thought her SNL stint was really, really good.
I still think the greatest guest person ever on SNL is Justin Timberlake.
Oh, he's
not
fantastic.
even gonna lie.
Yeah,
all of his shit is hilarious. I just need there to be a show where it's him and Peyton Manning, just hanging out. Just they don't even need to act. Just like be them.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a movie I would still recommend people watch. I got to see it for free because the Draft House gave me a free ticket because I'm a Victor Rewards member and you get a free ticket on your birthday. One ticket. So it's not like, hey, you and a buddy or a significant other can go.
Does it have to be on your birthday?
No, you get it for a month. So
a month. I wonder if I can parlay that into getting my free ticket to it.
Oh,
because I'm gonna see that one by myself for damn sure.
No, you're not. I'm going with you. We agreed on that.
Did we?
Yes, after Detective Pikachu.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yes.
With our holding hands.
Indeed. It's like, oh.
I don't know which screen you're on. It looks like I'm just like reaching through like.
No, it works on camera. It totally works. Yeah, so I would definitely say it's a good movie to watch, but it's a movie just to say like, it's not like I think of all of his films, it is the least focused. But I think that's the point. I think this is just meant to be a slice of life in very late 1960s Hollywood, and at the very, very end of the film, it's like, okay, this is when everything actually does start to connect together. It's like, I see what this is about, and then again, it still subverts expectations a little bit. It's very much like there, it's kind of got a little hint of Inglourious Basterds to it too, in terms of like subverting what you expect the film is gonna or what's gonna happen. It completely subverts all that.
I love Inglourious Basterds, but I still, for me, Tarantino's best movie will probably always be Reservoir Dogs.
I knew you were gonna say that. I fucking knew you.
That was one of the movies that got me like hardcore into like movies and cinema and stuff. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah,
I love it.
Max, have you seen any Tarantino stuff?
Nope.
Oh my god. Dude.
I'm just listening and observing, soaking up all the important information that I'm getting off of you guys.
Learning from your elders.
Exactly.
Right,
well, just so we can put in perspective for us too, like, what is your favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. If you would have asked me about 10 years ago, I would have said Cars.
Okay.
But now that I've gotten older... I have to say, I don't have a specific favorite movie, but I have a bunch of favorite movies.
So what's in your top 3 rotation of films? Like,
Top three, it definitely has to be Top Gun.
good answer. Top Gun's a good answer.
Um,
You broke Shaun, by the way.
Second one, I would have to say the fourth, Fast and the Furious,
Okay.
on that one.
Okay.
And the last one, oh yeah, Rush. That Formula One, Niki Lauda.
Okay.
That's the third one. I really like that one.
I have not seen that one. I need to watch it. I'm going to watch it tonight now.
Yeah, I do too, actually.
Seen it?
I haven't, man. No, I've watched the Netflix series on Formula One, which got renewed for next year. So that's fucking awesome. You get to see. I think that's one of the reasons I love you, Max, is that you remind me of Gunther Steiner, who is the team principal for the American team Haas, and yeah, you guys have like the same German accent, even though he's from Northern Italy and you're from Alberta, Canada.
There you go.
So there you go. But yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
No, you gotta watch it. The way they did the story in that movie is just beautiful.
is it for the comeback season after he gets
Oh, it's the whole like.
it's the whole thing? Oh
It's
shit.
the whole thing. So basically, how he started out, and like that whole rivalry between him and James Hunt, I think
Yeah.
that's just awesome.
Oh fuck! They need to make a new Formula One movie. I want to see
I
them.
know.
I want them to make like one with like actors and stuff, but I want it to be from like the 60s and 70s, to where you have like all the old school guys like Jackie Stewart, like or James Stewart and no, yeah, Jackie Stewart, Jackie X, and all those guys and things, and just when it was like at its like most, lethal, just to like, because now they can just, I mean, film wise, they could, use old footage to show kind of some of the stuff and some like scenes, but they could use modern technology to recreate some of that and just really get like a visceral kind of feel of like what it really was like, especially when those cars went off the fucking rails.
Yeah. Talking about movies about the olden days, have you seen the trailer for the new Le Mans movie, Ford versus Ferrari, whatever it's called?
I saw that trailer. That looks really good.
Yes, which is
That-
makes me so happy.
I love how I'm so excited to see it. I'm actually going to go into cinema to see that one.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's like I am like, and Shaun knows this about me. Since he's known me for a long time. So like, I am
Sport.
I am not a sport person at all, at all. And the background of kind of verifies that as well. Like, there's nothing even remotely sporty, unless you count that Breath of the Wild bow and arrow set. But that's a huge fucking stretch right there. But that being said, I do like a lot of sports movies though too. Like, I freaking love movies like Miracle, Any Given Sunday, The Replacements with Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman,
What is your all-time favorite sports movie?
Mighty Ducks 2, easily, just bam, quack.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, it's so good. Like if you were to do more like a legit like for real like sports movie for it, probably I was about to say like Little Giants with Rick Moranis and Ed O'Neill.
I think
But,
mine might just be Goon, man. I fucking love Goon.
Goon is fantastic. It's like one of those movies like fucking Sean William Scott. Like, holy crap, he can act.
I still think I know most people will say Slapshot, and I love Slapshot. I
Yeah.
genuinely do, and I've seen all of them. I've seen Slapshot. I've seen Young Bloods. I've seen all of it. To me, Goon is the best hockey movie ever.
I think it's fantastic.
It's very over the top, but I mean,
It is,
so
but
was Slapshot.
it is too. I think Goon just has something really special about it too. Of just like he was the brawler, but then he was also just he was just a good guy too. Like he liked hockey and he liked fighting, but he was just deep down just a real sweet dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we love corn dogs.
Yeah.
It's official.
Yeah. I'm trying to think the other sports movies that I really, really like too.
I'm not gonna lie. I have watched Bend It Like Beckham multiple times.
I actually have not seen Bend It Like Beckham. That's probably the one sports kind of
Oh.
genre films I've not seen, are soccer films.
I take it back. My all-time favorite sports movie ever, Cool Runnings. If Cool Runnings is
Cool
on,
Runnings.
I'm
Oh,
watching
yeah.
Cool Runnings. I made
Yeah.
my daughter sit down and watch Cool Runnings with me last Winter Olympics when she was like 1, just because I could just pick her up and set her down. But we fucking watched Cool Runnings, and when she got a little bit older, I used to put her in her. I would put her in like this little like this rocking chair type thing, and I would push her around the house because we were watching the Winter Olympics, and I would turn her on her side and stuff like that, and she had a fucking blast.
Oh,
Although
And
yesterday she told me she wants to drive racing cars when she gets older, so you know,
you raised her right.
mission
I sure hope
accomplished.
so. She's not afraid of shit, and she loves going fast. So if nothing else, I've got that going for me.
Yeah.
Speaking about cool runnings, I've actually visited that track, like that bobsled track in real life. Because it's in Calgary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I just realized too. I was looking through my Blu-ray collection right back behind there, and I have one sport movie.
Ooh, that's a good fucking movie.
Yep.
The
Still
book is
sealed.
even better. Oh my god. I think I gave my copy. I think I donated my copy as part of my mass purging that I've done for my minimalisticness.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So, what the hell is going on?
Well, so I've always been kind of no, not always. Always is a lie. In the past few years, I have definitely been more of the mindset of like less is actually more in terms of like things because I have a ton of shit, or I've had. I don't now. No, so so this your screen is a perfect example of like the way this works. So, and one of the things there's a Netflix documentary called like The Minimalist, and it's really really good. But the key thing to stress, or at least that I've told people with the minimalism, it's not getting rid of everything. Like it's not like this is my only water bottle, which this one actually is.
Bad example.
But yeah,
like,
so
this is my only child.
Right. So it's not that you get rid of all of your things. It's that you only keep things that you like genuinely enjoy or like necessity items. Like I have two headsets. I got rid of my other one because it was the one that came with my Rosetta Stone. The audio quality wasn't great. It's the one I used to do for streaming and use when we started doing the podcasts on the computer instead of on the phones. I just didn't need it anymore. Like I don't need things. I'm not buying things to make me feel better. And so one of the things that I found, via the minimalists, which is a group of people, these two dudes, they had this thing called the 30-day minimalism game. And every day you get rid of that many things. So day one thing, day two things, day three, so on and so on. And the last day you get rid of 30 things.
Mm-hmm.
So in total, it's 465 things. I want to say we just finished day 25 or 26. I can't remember. We're up in the mid 20s though at this point. So we've already gotten rid of over 350 things. And I have these two big ass UPS boxes in my garage that are mine is actually overflowing with shit. Like there's shit like a foot outside of the box because of how much stuff we've gotten rid of. And it's just, you go through and you pick something up and you're like, do I need this anymore? Like I've got literally right next to me, because my desk is an absolute shit show right now because I'm cleaning it out. I've got like no joke, like maybe 25 flash drives, and I'm going through and I'm putting all them. Yeah, I've got like that's my holy shit lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I've got all these things that I don't need, and it's one of those. The concept is you have all this stuff, and it's actually the more stuff you have, it's keeping you stressed. It's making you upset. Which the perfect example is, I'm not going to show it, but it's like my garage. I had all this crap in there, and it was like no joke, giving me like hardcore anxiety. That every time I opened the garage for like what was in there, like it ruined my day every time I went into my garage because of shit that was in there. Like it upset me, like mentally and like physically, like made me angry. So it's this idea that you only have things that bring you joy. Like the stuff you have is stuff you really, really enjoy. Like I don't have anything on my walls except for like paintings. Like these are all paintings. I have, I don't know, like 20 paintings up that are all done by my wife's grandfather, who passed away a few years ago, and he was amazing, coolest dude I've ever met. We have a couple things that my daughter's done. We actually framed one of her little painting things, but it fit perfectly in this IKEA frame. And then I have like a couple other pictures of stuff from her, but that's it. That's all the only things we have up on the walls. So that way, with the stuff that's on our walls, it's just stuff that we love. Oh, and then our wedding photo we have up there. But that's it. Like it's not about getting rid of all of your things. So like your shit's fine, Chris. Like all those things behind you, all your Final Fantasy doodads and things like that. Like looking at that collection and stuff, seeing those things you have, does that make you happy that you have those things? Do those things bring you, it's the Marie Kondo thing was like, does this item bring you joy? And it sounds like stupid, but you pick something up and it's like, does this case for these flash drives, does it bring me joy? No, it's a piece of shit case and I don't need the flash drive anymore. Just chuck it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the concept. So you don't have to get rid of all your things. Like I'm getting rid of a ton of shit just because I wanted to be like doing that particular thing. But it's getting rid of stuff that you don't need, like stuff that's cluttering up your life, and like these extra items and all the money you spend trying to get more shit to feel better is wasted. Like I don't buy things anymore. Like it's so hard for me to buy things. Like this hoodie I bought, I got rid of 2 other hoodies I had because they were older. It was such a struggle for me to buy this hoodie, and it was kind of expensive. Like it's a Lululemon one, so it's a little bit more expensive, but it's really, really high quality. But it was so hard for me to buy it because it was stressing me out. Like, buying things for me. So I don't really buy like that much stuff. Like all of my thing is now like I want to go and like experience this and do stuff. Like I had no problem. We went to Spain for 21 days. I think we spent $10,000. I don't have a fucking problem with that at all because I remember going to Spain. It was amazing. It was the best trip I've ever taken. So that's kind of my thing with minimalism. It's not having anything. It's having what you need, and the things that you have make you like happy. When you look at them, you're like, oh, I like that. Like I need it, but this printer here is a piece of shit and I hate it. But I need a printer. So at some point I might replace that with one that doesn't make me want to chuck it out the door. But that's kind of the way it works. That's the way I look at it. Like what I've started to think about is there's not really a set thing of minimalism. You go to like IKEA or something and it's like, oh, it needs to be just like you have just a table and there's like one sheet of paper on it and that's somehow a desk. Like I have an IKEA desk and I love it, but I have multiple things on it. So that's kind of the thing. It's whatever works for you. Like I have way less clothes than my wife does. Like no joke, I own 8 pairs of pants total, and 2 pairs of shorts that are not like athletic workout shorts. And of those, I only own 4.
Yeah.
And I think I own 10 t-shirts total, including my like white t-shirts I wear under my work shirts. That's it. I think even including individual socks, I think I don't, there's no way in hell I own 100 articles of clothing at all. Wow. I used to have like 30 ties. I only have like 6 now.
That is something I do need to do, is because I still have a lot of my clothes back from my bigger days too, and
get rid of them.
Yeah, and that's what I've been kind of doing. Like as I put on like t-shirts and stuff, like I haven't worn this shirt in a while. Like put it on, like that's why. So I do donate those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I do totally understand the catharsis of it, and just the sensation of just like it's less shit in your life that you either have to maintain, clean, organize, put out of the way. I totally get that.
I'm actually getting rid of all of my my bulk Magic cards too.
Yeah.
I actually only have. I used to take up an entire like little like shallow closet in the house. I only use an entire shelf on that now. I think because the decks that I play or want to play in paper or in building, I have those. I have a few like set decks, like the Versus decks. I have those. I think 2 or 3 of those. I maybe only have 10 decks that are like in the house now, and those are like the main ones I use. And the rest is I have some loose cards that I keep because they're a little bit more valuable, and I'm not certain what I'm going to do with them. But then all the bulk crap, I'm gonna take it up to Blitzkrieg where you and I went and trade it in over there. And at some point, Billy, I'm sure will have a chance to rummage through it and give me whatever paltry amount. I may just tell him, hey, there's like X amount of it's all commons and uncommons, and just take whatever offer. I don't really care. I'm just trying to get some amount of value for it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've probably made $2,000 off of Facebook's sales thing, just selling all the shit I don't need in the house anymore.
Wow.
Going to San Diego over Thanksgiving, and I've got like, I don't know, $500 in cash just to use for the trip, just from stuff that we don't need, like old chairs. We got rid of my daughter's old crib and changing table because she's a big girl now. So yeah. Aww. It's neat too, going through and getting rid of stuff, because you're like, yeah, I remember this. And for me, it was really, really hard at first making transitions from that, because I used to be the person who's like, I can't let this thing go because it's attached to the memory of something else. Like I'll be the first to admit I'm not the greatest at any of that. Like it sounds like I'm really, really good at like the minimalism thing because I get rid of tons of shit, and like my desk at work has like nothing on it. And when we move into a new building at work, it's still gonna have jack shit on it because I don't own things at work. I don't bring work stuff from home to work. But I have a one of those vacuum seal bags in my garage, and I shit you not, it has all of my stuffed animals from my childhood. Like there's a vacuum seal bag. I'm 5'9". The bag's probably 42 inches tall and like this big around. It's vacuum sealed and it's probably got like 80 stuffed animals in it. Like literally, my first stuffed animal ever is inside that bag. I've never gotten rid of stuff. I've never voluntarily gotten rid of a stuffed animal in my entire life.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was the only person that did that.
No joke. I have the teddy bear my mom got me from one of the BXs somewhere when I was like 4 or 5. That it's like he has his little dress BDUs because I used to want to go into the military. I really wanted to be the guy who stopped people at the gate and checked their IDs when I was a kid. I loved that. I used to build like little gate houses out of Legos and pretend like that they were checking people into the base. I still have that bear. Yeah, I have all these stuffed animals and shit from when I was a kid. I can't. It's just so hard to let go.
Wow.
Damn. I also still have my first stuffed toy that I got from my mom.
That I'll probably never get rid of. It's this adorable little tiger thing. It's like this tall and like the head's almost like falling off right now. So I don't know if I'd ever let my daughter play with it. But I mean, it looks like an old as fuck toy, and it literally. I mean, it's 30 something years old now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some of the things from my childhood, thankfully, my mom kept, so I don't have to deal with those for, however long she'll be around, and then I'll have to deal with it. But there's like a blanket that a friend of ours, like knitted for me when I was born that I used up until I was like 12 because I was a short little bastard. So that's somewhere in my mom's closet. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about something.
I would say, I have no degree of that kind of sentimentality. Like when I moved back from Virginia back here to Texas, like I moved back into the house that I grew up in, and like everything that's like all up here, all my Final Fantasy stuff for it, this was just full of just junk, a mixture of just unnecessary or old ass paperwork or just weird knick-knacky stuff, and it's all fucking gone. Like that was one of the first things I did was like I ordered a dumpster. And even like shit I knew was from my childhood, like old toys that I grew up with, all of it went into the dumpsters. And I never looked at anything and be like, oh, that's kind of, like, oh, let's save that thing. Like, no, it was always like, fuck it, throw it.
Yeah, I've been very badly sentimental in most of my life. I would say for of my almost 34 years, probably 26 of them ridiculously sentimental about things.
Yeah.
Like there are things that I know that I've like I had like the Mordheim rule book for that little tabletop game that the Games Workshop made. I lost it. I couldn't find it, and I shit you not, I had a full-blown panic attack in my like mid-20s because I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I actually, at the apartment that we were at, I thought we might have thrown it out by accident, so I literally like got in the dumpster to find it.
Wow.
I thought it was the recycling dumpster, so I think I don't know, but I literally got into some sort of receptacle to look for a book that was worth $50 maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot better about that now, but
good. Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I remember even throwing out that I was kind of like, this feels kind of weird. Was I found a legit ball of rosaries. That apparently my mom and aunt had collected just over the years. And I mean, they weren't like fancy or nice ones. I mean, these are like the old plastic ones I think churches used to give out. And there's that part of me that's just kind of like, I'm throwing away like a religious thing. And me not being even remotely religious at this point, like there's that part of me that's just like, just throw it away, fuck it, whatever. But there's that one little piece of just like old school Catholicism just like rather on the back of my head going like, if you throw this away, you are going to get struck by lightning like right fucking now, right? And you're like,
yeah.
Nope. Okay, cool. There's no God. Okay, fine. Throw the rest away. Throw away the crucifix.
There you go.
The Shroud of Turin gone. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like the sentimentality I think for family stuff for me it just doesn't quite hold on for me near as much as like for example, like if even from like what the stuff seen right here, like I have like almost in tears when I got that copy of Final Fantasy 3 for Super Nintendo. Granted, this is not my copy, but this is such an important piece of who I am that I could throw away 5,000 rosaries and be like, fuck it, fine, whatever, it's just plastic. That's just plastic too, but for some reason for me that is going to be like incinerated with me in my urn is going to be that copy of Final Fantasy 3 because of just what that means to me. So like my sentimentality is very, very fucking weird and skewed.
I will say that one thing I have that is, if I had to say that I had my most prized possession, this is a stupid thing to be a prized possession, but I keep this in my wallet. It is the tag from when my daughter was born.
Oh, see, that's normal.
But this is a cool kicker. She lost a lot of weight in the hospital, so it never got cut. It fell off her little ankle, and so they said they only really need one on her because it kept falling off. So I was like, okay, so I'll just hold on to it. So I keep it inside my phone case. Aww. It's always in there. It's never been in there since like she was born July 7th of 2016. It has been in my phone case or cases since July 9th.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sweet. That's just you also being a good dad too.
Yeah, that is one of the few things I would say. I think at this point she's 3 and she's a pretty badass little kid. I think I'm going to go ahead and just toot my own horn there. Yeah, I'm a pretty damn good dad.
Yeah.
Not good at everything. Well, Chris, you know from our less enjoyable conversations over the past year and a half, there are things I am very bad at.
Rock, paper, scissors comes to mind a lot. You are terrible at that.
That's because I always choose paper.
God damn, I don't know why. Like, knowing full well. Scissors. Every time. Every single time. Yep. Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. That does not segue into anything else.
What the fuck do we do that ever does segue properly for it? Like, nothing. Like, this thing started off with us talking about, like, F1 racing, I think.
I just know Magnus was saying his favorite movie was Cars, and
yeah. That was such a, like, the first thing I thought of, like, because at one point you were about to say, do you guys see that ever see the thing for that old movie? And I swear, part of me was saying, like, I swear to God, if you say something from like the 2000s, I'm kicking you off this right now. Like, do you guys remember like that super super old movie Zombieland? I was like, fuck.
That's always like if you'd asked me 10 years ago, and I'm like, he'd have been 10. Yeah. Favorite movie, Cars. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what's worse, that it's Cars or that I was like not 10 when Cars came out.
Yeah, no, we were in our 20s. Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking, everyone else is like, Magnus, or not Magnus, Max is probably watching that guy like, oh, I love Cars, and I'm sitting there and be like, how do they have sex? Why does Porsche have a tramp stamp?
I've actually never thought about that. That's a good point to bring up.
Yeah.
Is Mater a rapist? Why does he have a hook? Like,
Yeah.
Why do cars get old? That's weird. Where do they die?
Yeah, Paul Newman's character. Yeah. Oh my God.
Cars don't grow, so how does that? If they have a kid, is that Porsche just gonna like shed its skin like a snake? Like, how does this work?
Yeah. It's the weird logistics.
I guess.
That's where they get you. It's just when you really start thinking about kind of shit like that. It's like, how?
But that could also be the trademark Shaun way overthinks shit. Like the kid that he briefly mentioned, Marbles, I was trying to explain to him my theory that Apex Legends is a game. And he's like, well, yeah, it's a video game. And I'm like, no. Inside the universe that Apex Legends takes place in, it itself is a game. The game of Apex Legends is not real. And I mentioned that to you, and because it was all based off the respawn beacons and shit like that. Like, how do you have 10 Bangalores? Because they're not real. How do you pick someone up and it's just a fucking PDA? Because it's not real. The game is not. Technically, anyone could have Mirage's ability because they're all holograms. And yeah.
Yep.
I stick by that theory. I know it's a random theory and it makes no sense and it doesn't affect anything. But yeah, my brain was like, must keep going. Must keep going.
Well, when you die in Apex, you leave behind a crate. That's it.
Yeah.
Your body disappears, and all you leave behind is a crate. So yeah,
I mean, if you think about it, if you die in real life, all you leave behind is a crate.
Oh.
Yeah. But proving your
Not me,
theory
though.
that Apex is a game inside of a game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can see
Like
that.
no one actually dies in the ring. Like what
Yeah.
they do, it's almost like they get in like a VR simulator. Like they put on like a headset. It's, you know what it is? It's probably actually like an esports type thing, you know, where like someone gets to inhabit this particular person. Because if you think about it, it's in a Titanfall universe, right? So they have the ability to put a human inside of this Titan and essentially do that. This is like the next step up in their Titanfall like research program, right? So you plug it into the back of them, the same synapses that are used to control a giant machine. What if you put it on a micro scale and you actually control an individual person?
Kind of like almost like Gamer, but without the stakes.
Exactly. It is exactly like Gamer without the stakes. Instead of killing real people, you're just killing artificial, you know, interpretations of those people.
Right. Like, it really does kind of take the edge off of, like, the severity of what you're doing to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of that, did you see that they're doing, like, a single-player campaign, like, for a limited time?
Yeah, they're doing not single player like PvE, but it's solos. So, which is going to be.
Oh, solos. Okay.
I'm really looking forward to it. Actually, yeah, I don't have to worry about
Me.
if I can't find people to play with, I can just play by myself, and I don't have to worry about my teammates being randoms or like weird or terrible. It's
You
just
mean me?
Weird.
I wonder what they'll do. Will they just replace knockdown shields with more grenades? Because a knockdown shield doesn't do any good.
Well, if it's a self-revive, it still does.
Yeah, but but you can't get knocked down if you're playing solos. If you're just by yourself, you just get eliminated.
But what if they still have like the gold knockdown shield, so you can self-revive?
What if everybody gets a gold knockdown shield at the start? What if
One
you start with
revive.
that? Yeah. What are they?
So you say you get knocked down, but then you get up again.
Yes.
Like a one
never gonna
time
keep me down.
revive. But you
I don't think Magnus got that one.
Yeah.
Not Magnus. I don't think Max got that one.
Nope.
Did you get that reference? I don't think you did, buddy.
No, I guess I'm too young.
Yep. Oh.
Yep. You're too young to get knocked down, but then you get up
up
again.
Never gonna keep you down.
Oh, is that the song?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
God. Thank God.
I've heard about that. Yeah,
Thank God.
That is
hasn't
tub. That is tub thumping by Chumbawamba.
exactly. Who hasn't heard that song?
Thank God you have.
What the fuck are you playing with?
I was trying to be really subtle about it, but I was trying to readjust the arm on my Alucard here, but I'm fucking it up.
Yeah. I'm just jealous of your green and white ranger there.
I have a couple of them actually.
I know.
There you go.
Super cool. Super cool. Let's see. How long have we been on? What's a
53
we've been rocking.
minutes. We've been rocking for
Great.
53 minutes. Do you have a top three for us?
I think I do.
What you got?
So it came up from the favorite movie thing, right? So take three movies and make their genres swap with one another. So like you would take, like, my favorite movie is Blade Runner, right? So I'm going to take Blade Runner. How do you take Blade Runner, which is like an action kind of drama, and then turn it into, say, a sports movie? So now Blade Runner is a clone hockey league.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So that would be one. So yeah. So you have to do that with three movies. So pick a movie, what genre it is, and then what you would change it to.
Okay. So for me, then it would be like
You can't change the name of the movie. The name of the movie still has to work.
Okay, so it could still be like Indiana Jones: Last Crusade, which is still my all-time favorite movie, which is
Right, but
adventure film.
But it could be crew in terms of he's going and he's shaving all the Nazis' heads.
Okay, yeah,
He's giving them all crew cuts.
yeah. So I was actually saying like more like it could turn it then into like a horror film then, because the end of the film actually does have some horror elements to it.
Ooh, that'd be a good way to do it. Yeah.
Because Donovan takes the wrong grail and he ages and turns into a skeleton, and it could just be then at that point that either it becomes like a horror film in the sense of like the zombie thing kind of like becomes the bigger emphasis, or the skeleton thing becomes the bigger emphasis to the point of zombies, and then that's what kind of leads into like post-apocalyptic in the 40s then or something. So like the water from the fountain where they get the grails gets knocked over, and because that's not being drank from the grail, it goes into somebody's village's water stream. They all drink from it, and then they all turn into zombies. And then it becomes up to Indy and his dad then as their last crusade to go wipe out the town.
I like this.
Oh.
10 for 10 would watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
That's one of them then.
So we take turns. We're gonna go. So you're up, Max.
Damn, that's a tough one to do.
Yep.
Swap genre with a movie.
Yep. These are the ADD challenges that I provide.
Yeah, I already got my next one. I'm ready for my second one.
Probably if you could take the what is it? Take Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. It already has a bit of that in there. But turn to this like crazy romantic movie, like where Maverick stops flying.
Mm-hmm. So it completely like plays off like he's not about trying to be the best of the best or the issues he has with Iceman and stuff. It's just the romance.
Exactly. So he like completely ditches that and then goes for the romance. Maybe, I don't know.
That could work because then the Top Gun then for that point it becomes him being the Top Gun in her heart.
That's right.
Take my breath away. Bow, wow.
Doom. I used to listen to that soundtrack on cassette every day of my life when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
Like literally no joke. Top Gun was the greatest movie of all time to me from the age of like 4 to like 10.
Yeah. Like Berlin's Take My Breath Away is just such a quintessential 80s song, and it's just
playing with the boys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is. I actually have the soundtrack on my phone, like the whole Top Gun.
Yeah.
Yes. The anthem at the end of the movie.
Exactly.
I'd love. Yeah. I'm gonna watch. Yeah. We should when we play Apex later, we should put that on and just like play it nonstop.
That would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So that's that. All right. What I would do is I would take the original Alien, and I would turn it into kind of like not so much a romance type movie, but almost like District 9, where instead of the alien getting onto the ship and basically systematically murdering everyone, it's a little bit more reversed, where they find the life form, and instead of being aggressive about things, it's about we've found this, and then they actually go and they're trying to save it because it's like from a dying species on a planet that's getting overmined by the corporation that they're a part of. And so they're trying to basically work against the people who sent them there to save this creature and, its civilization from collapsing because of, their fault. Kind of, I guess almost like a Fern Gully type thing. But I guess then you're just turning Alien into Avatar. But that would be interesting.
But the aliens would be terrifying looking this time.
Yes.
Yeah. On purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of on the same note as Magnus's, I would do Zombieland, which is still one of my favorite comedies of all time, but play it off more like a teen romantic comedy instead. So you completely ignore the zombies. Like, it's just about Columbus and Emma Stone's character. I can't remember her name. But Emma Stone's character is just the two of them just building a romance. And you just see the zombie shit just always in the background constantly. Like, you see zombie kills of the week, you see people fighting and running in terror, all that stuff. But it's all played absolutely secondary to just Jesse Eisenberg trying to hook up with Emma Stone. Like, I think that would still be fun. I think that would work. Which basically I think is
that could work.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that, like all the I thought there was one movie where they kind of did it like that, where like their whole like crap was happening in the back and they completely ignored it. Wasn't there?
If
Or the whole like maybe
There-
I'm thinking of something else.
There was a romantic zombie comedy called Warm Bodies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
And-
thinking of that.
Yeah, and
I
apparently,
had one of my former students kept calling me Z for like 2 years straight, and it was very annoying.
really, why was it annoying? Just because it has nothing to do with your actual name, or just
No, they
Just
always
rather
thought I
than
looked like
things.
characters from things. So yeah,
Oh.
I got Twilight characters a lot. I got that guy a lot. I got one of the former doctors from Doctor Who a lot. I got Tom Hiddleston a few times. That was fun.
oh, it's a
They're like,
boost
"You
to
look
your
like
confidence.
Loki," and I'm like, "Cool. I look like a psychotic demigod." All right.
Worst things to be called.
Exactly.
One of my students just straight up said, "You're like a sociopath," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, like someone's getting extra homework.
Nah, someone got an A.
Yeah.
They found me.
Yeah.
How did they do this?
Yeah, it's just kind of like
Yeah.
just
I don't know. That's the shitty bag. They'll get out of that one.
oh, true story. It is.
All right, Magnus. Not Magnus. I'm a motherfucker. Your turn.
Max.
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second movie. Actually, you know what? That whole See, I haven't like trying to figure out a movie they could turn the genre where they haven't actually done that already. Trying to figure this out. Yeah, let's take the Lego movie, like the Lego movie that they did back
Yeah.
2015 or something. Like turn it into this like whole messed up zombie movie. But
Okay.
Emmett's still being like how he is the first in Bricksburg,
Mm-hmm.
like all happy, and everybody's, you know, like Lucy's just trying to keep him alive
Yeah.
the whole time. But Emmett is just his normal self, paying overpriced coffee kind of deal, maybe.
That could work.
Yep.
Yeah, just the kind of the obliviousness to everything that's kind of going around. I think that is still such a, to me, like a great comedy trope of just there's so much like darkness going around in an environment, and there's a character who's just like, what
That's basically what the first like 15 minutes of the second movie are.
is it
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, Emmett's. It's basically like they make it into like Mad Max or whatever, and like he's all still happy with his coffee and stuff like that, and he's like, "Hey."
Yep.
I haven't actually seen the second one.
Neither
just
have I
yet.
yet. Yeah.
I've seen most of the beginning part of it, and yeah, it's pretty much exactly like that.
Huh.
Oh,
Okay. That could still work for it. Yeah. I almost could think if you could do the Lego movie, you almost like you could have it to the point where since Emmett has been to the real world and seen that he is essentially still a toy, you can almost kind of have it where you kind of cross that with the Toy Story elements of the realization that your whole existence is a child's plaything, and instead of taking more like the hey, we're toys, this is our purpose, you just kind of realize like that's all we are. We are just a child's plaything that he will eventually grow bored of and throw our shit away, and my existence, my feelings, my experiences mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. What? And that's just how credits roll. Like
Boom. Fade.
It's like, you mean we don't matter? Nope. And like everything is awesome.
exactly.
They don't ruin kids' lives from movies anymore. That's just our generation.
Yeah. I don't know, like, actually, I think this would be more of our generation, but I still stand by my favorite movie from last year was Sorry to Bother You, and that movie has no happy ending. That is a movie that says, like, we are useless and we are the worst.
That is also accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Shaun,
Let's see.
what's
What
your
am I on the
third?
third one?
Yeah.
Okay. I would take Mad Max, and I would turn it into just an absolute comedy where it's basically they're trying to rebuild civilization, and since they have this stuff there, it's all done off of like a car circuit, so they're trying to use this car circuit to bring people together. It's essentially Speed Racer meets Mad Max. You're taking and you have a very jokey kind of character sets. Everybody is very much whatever character they play in the movies, it's that plus a few extra points. You know, you have like the really, really like evil looking guy, and he's obviously the villain in the movie. And it's essentially Max is trying to win this race to win this like prize money and this stuff, so that way he can go back to his like town and help it try and rebuild. But you know, because everything is about like the cars
Yeah.
and stuff. I would watch that.
Nice.
Definitely.
But then again, I'm somebody who watches movies that are terrible because they're terrible. Starship Troopers is still the greatest, worst movie of all time.
Oh my god, I would say I was about to fight you saying it's not a terrible movie, but no, I will still watch.
No.
And
It's the same thing I was telling Rick a long time ago. Starship Troopers is a terrible movie. It's not that it's not good, it's not fun and enjoyable to watch. It is a shit movie, but it is fantastic in how bad it is. All the acting is horrible, but it's so bad that it's amazing.
Yeah. They're afraid.
I just love it. You got Doogie Howser using his like, of course he's a doctor in there talking to a gigantic space vagina.
Yeah.
You know.
If I was to do a third movie, I would probably, and this would be, I think, a legit one. I think that still really does need to be done properly. Is Batman Begins, which of the three Nolan Batmans is still my favorite. Mm-hmm. But I would want it done. A realistic, I think, a better example would probably be The Dark Knight. Like you get past the origin stuff, and so where he's now being Batman, but you play it off as less of an action film and much more as him being the detective. Like he's there's still gonna be some action beats to it too. There's still gonna be times where he has to fight goons, but the vast majority of the film is him solving a crime. Like I would
like that part. That would be good.
Yeah, very very much down for that. I think we're due for a thinking man's Batman at this point. Like I know it's more likely we would see that in one of the DC animated films versus a full big budget film, because Warner Brothers is never going to take a risk of giving out like $250 million to make a movie where Batman just thinks the entire time.
I just thought of a great movie based off that thing. Instead of it being Batman, you know how they have like the Joker movie coming out and like it's kind of separate from like, it seems like it's not in the same right timeline for Batman.
It's all
you have a movie and you just same kind of thing, same general universe, but the movie is just Gordon, and the perfect character to play Gordon, but as a police detective would be Joel Edgerton? He was in Warrior, and he was in The Thing. Yeah. He would be phenomenal as that, and it's literally him trying to kind of use the fact that Batman exists to help him aid in actually solving cases and getting these people into Arkham in a legitimate manner.
So making Batman a side character then.
Yes, Batman is a side character in a Batman movie.
That would be interesting. I would actually see. That's what they're.
Which is probably why the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie will probably get. It's gonna be. This is what's gonna happen with that movie. It's gonna be one of those movies that gets really, really good critical acclaim, shit audience reception.
That's a real risk for it.
I think people are going to go, it's not Batman. I wanted Batman, or the Joker's not laughing, and he's not Heath Ledger. Yeah, I honestly think Joaquin Phoenix is a much more frightening Joker.
I think so too.
Somebody like a marginalized character who has nothing left going for them and nothing left to lose is a much more horrifying person than some dude with scars on his face who's just batshit crazy. Did we just lose Magnus? Not Magnus. We just lost Yukon. Yukon, you there, buddy?
I think we may have.
Oh no, we lost Yukon.
Oh no.
We'll never know.
Oh no. Because that's apparently what they're going to be doing with the Spawn film, though, too, which is it's going to be a Spawn film that's not going to have a whole lot of Spawn in it. Like he's going to be played much more as a secondary character, in the bigger environment of everything else that's kind of going on. So
that's good stuff.
And I don't know 100% how I feel about that. Like I think. Like for a character like Spawn, who is so over the top and who's designed to be much more like a monster than he is a hero, I think that's the more interesting character. Like it's versus having it about the two detectives that are more iconic with the series.
Yeah,
I think that Lock and Key. It's Lock and something, or Fitz, or I forget their names. But they're going to be a much more prominent character, which I don't know. I want to see a Spawn film for Spawn done correctly, and then maybe later on we'll get one about the ancillary characters, but. I don't. We'll see. Like that movie's been in like development hell for so long now too. Maybe it's never even going to come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even I think for Batman, like it's still so set up well for a detective film because you have the Riddler. Like you could just be Batman solving the Riddler's riddles to then eventually lead to him. I think that could work great.
And then I want the Riddler to just be some kind of like, like handicapped person who like is like bound to like a room basically.
Yeah.
And like, oh, what if the Riddler is somebody inside of Arkham trying to get Batman to come back into Arkham because he escaped and he's actually that theory where Batman's the patient and all the bad guys are actually just like people there. Like the Riddler is actually like
an orderly
like
or something.
It turns into like like a what is it the that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he like
Shutter Isle.
Yeah, Shutter Island. Yeah, it turns into that.
That'd be crazy. That'd be really good. That'd be a great twist for it too. Because that's always been kind of one of the debates about Batman is the reason why there are so many of like these iconic and amazing villains because of Batman's existence.
Yeah.
And I think even like the Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie kind of even addresses that kind of question. Like he lives in a world where this kind of is accepted behavior. So at that point, then if you want to stand out, if you want to be the center of attention, you have to be that much more creative / ruthless for it too. So does Batman make his own villains essentially?
Yeah,
it poses a good question. It really does.
See, I think at this point now, I'm done with watching Batman beat up goons and go eventually take out the bad guy. At this point, I want more cerebral superhero movies. That's why for me, The Watchmen is the best superhero movie because you have to think about it.
Yeah. Are you gonna watch the HBO show then?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's dystopian. Duh.
Yep, very true. I don't even know why you bothered asking for that. Yep.
That is my jam.
Yeah.
Like all of my favorite books are like horribly dark, no-win scenario books. Like my favorite book of all time is Frankenstein. Next favorite book is like 1984, and then like Heart of Darkness.
Oh Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My favorite books are all dark and horrible.
Very nice. I like Neil Gaiman. I like it where it's just like everyone's a little wacky, a little weird, but it's all in good fun for the most part.
I have read Stardust. I've never read anything else.
Stardust was amazing. Neverwhere is probably still my favorite of his books.
The book for Stardust was quite mind-blowingly good.
I loved it. Yeah, I really did too. I need to go back and reread that.
So good.
Yeah.
Had a paperback somewhere, I think. I don't know if we kept that one or not. We might have kept it.
Yeah, I
Probably did.
I got all my books Kindled.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, good deal. I think, are we done?
We might be.
Yeah.
I think I ran out of shit to say.
Yeah. All right then. Well, in that case, like I would ask where we find it on social media, but it's actually right below our photos now too. So I got your Twitch, your Twitter, and your Instagram below you. I got my new. I'm taking a break from Twitch to try Mixer for a little bit, see how that plays out.
Just mixing it up.
Just mixing it up. Yep. My viewership has dropped like crazy too, and I was figured like let's try this. And if my Mixer viewership is low too, then I know it's just me then, just not being interesting.
That's true.
Yeah.
It could just be that you suck.
It could just be that too. So.
That's yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to do this way more often.
Yes.
Yeah.
Max's internet crashed.
Ah, that's what it was. Okay. So Max, when you see us on the repeat, then on the video, thanks so much for hanging out, and I tip my hat to you, sir, as only a Manderville man can. Since I don't normally get to say that's not never my outro for these things, so I get to just use it in the middle of a fucking video. But all right then, we'll figure out a way to do this more frequently then, and see if we can get the rest of the gang back in here too.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll just keep bringing in guest people, so that way it's not just where it was for like 6 months. It was just I.
Yeah. Talk about
what does Shaun and Chris talk about?
Yeah.
That's the backgammon. That's right. Coming
That's
to
it.
Marvel Studios, gonna buy that out.
Oh fuck yeah, they are.
I'll be a millionaire.
That's gonna be Phase 6.
That's right.
All right. Well, cool deal. Well, for Circle Geekdom Podcast, I'm Chris.
I'm Shaun.
All right. Thank you all very much. We'll catch you guys next time.